What's good, guys? It's the Bluebloods here, coming at y'all with another 2-minute drill episode, kicking off July 1st. Man, I just want to say, we started this during Brandon's absence, man. You know, we started this I think it was February 16th. We are riding strong. It is July 1st, and in that time period, man, we've gained over 300 subscribers on our YouTube channel, man. We want to say thank y'all so much, man. So keep subscribing, keep liking the content, like this video. We appreciate y'all, man. We're riding with y'all all the way through the season. We got big things planned. This is like our first season covering this stuff on YouTube. I cannot wait. But we got an awesome topic today, man. And hey, let me just go ahead and say, Friday, 7 a.m., my guys, we have a special guest coming on the podcast. I mean, it's not a live stream. Y'all know that's our boy Off Script stuff. We ain't going to steal his shine or anything like that. But we got recent safety transfer Spencer Perry, Alabama A&M's new safety, coming on the show to talk his transfer, his career thus far. Alabama A&M going into the season. Y'all are going to want to tune into this. He's here exclusive with your boys on the Bluebloods, so stay tuned for that. But we got some FCS content today, my guys. We are going to talk some hypotheticals. We are going to break down the most likely FCS-FBS upsets in the 2021 season. So, I mean, this happens a lot. So this isn't just some random thing. And listen, I got a comment, so I kind of leaked one of mine yesterday on All Scripts live stream, and one dude told me, "Man, that's not what HBCU schools do. We don't we might be good, but we don't beat a so and so team." We'll get to it. I'll let y'all know which one he was talking about. But bro, we out that mindset. Everybody can beat everybody, and I promise you, there's some teams this year in the SWAC, especially, that are going to be rolling some heads in FBS. And listen, I didn't mean to. 3 of mine are SWAC teams. So just stay tuned. But Brandon, I have an honorable mention, so I'll kick it off because I know you just have 3. My honorable mention, this is a far-reaching one. I get it. But I think this could happen, and I think it's going to be a more competitive game than people think. It's going down September 10th, North Carolina A&T at Duke. Now, I get it. That's a Power 5 team. You're like, what are we even talking about nowadays? You think this team could beat Duke? Listen, as Coach Sam Washington said, bring me my money. Bring me my money. That's the type of energy North Carolina A&T is going to be taking up in Duke. Listen, the Aggies had 3 straight FBS wins from 2016 to 2018. I get it. Taking what they weren't Power 5 opponents. Guys, Duke was 2-9 last year. Listen, we as Off Script would say, we're the Power 5 guys. They were garbage. They are terrible. They are horrible. Listen, I could take 10 of our subscribers and me and Brandon. We'll just have a 12-man team. We might be able to beat Duke. Maybe.
I mean, hey, if you're interested, hit us up in the comments because we might be able to organize this.
Hey, NIL hits at midnight, my guys. We can organize this game for charity or something. We can rock with it. But Brandon, they lose, Chase Bryce, the quarterback. They bring in Gunnar Holmberg, very, very unproven. Brandon, in the ACC right now, they return the 14th best defensive line, which is dead last. That ranks outside the top 110 in the country. Brandon, do you remember who plays running back for North Carolina A&T?
I do. Who is it, Zach?
Jermaine Martin.
Yes, sir.
This kid's averaging 9 yards a carry, and you ain't got a defensive line?
Yeah, that's tough.
Listen, if the Aggies can go in there and establish a run against Duke, and Brandon, listen, they got Charlotte week 1, but week 3, Brandon, Northwestern's coming to town. Yes, the Northwestern that was just in the Big Ten championship 2 out of the last 3 years and almost beat Ohio State last year. That Northwestern. So you don't think those eyes are kind of looking toward the future? And then Brandon, after this game against the Aggies, they got Northwestern, Kansas, and UNC all back to back to back. And so I think they're going to be looking forward a little bit and being like, okay, we got 2 guaranteed wins here before we hit our tough stretch. Go ahead and overlook the Aggies. I dare you. Listen, they've been such a successful FCS program. A lot of people are picking them to make a huge impact in the FCS playoffs, Brandon. Like, this team is like not just a Celebration Bowl, which they've won 4 out of the 5 they've been in. They're talking about FCS playoffs, and Duke is terrible. They're returning only about 50% of the production they had from last year. Brandon, I wouldn't be surprised. That could be, but they didn't recruit for anything. And listen, I'm not super high on Duke. So I think this is my honorable mention because it's always tough for FCS to upset Power 5, especially in the ACC. But, guys, keep an eye on this matchup September 10th in week 2 of the season.
And, guys, I've got a couple picks here too. I'm not going to go into super big detail on all 3 of these just because this is going to be the longest episode in the world if Zach and I go into extra long detail.
And we probably have – like, listen, we don't talk beforehand that way. Like, we don't do that – TV crap that you watch where they're like, oh, we got to take different sides. We probably have some of the same. So we can break it down together, man. So let's get into your first one.
I kind of had an idea. I mean, Zach didn't tell me, but I got an idea of what he was going with. So I did try to go a different direction. I might agree with you, Zach, but I tried to go a different direction to kind of give everybody variety. My first pick comes straight out of the Ivy League, Zach. The Ivy League plays one FBS team this year. That's Yale. They're going to be playing UConn. That might be a tragedy. That might be the biggest tragedy we've ever seen. Because while Yale, maybe not the greatest team in the Ivy League, I think Harvard's been pretty good for the past couple seasons. UConn can't even keep up a game with their biggest rival. They can't even keep the civil conflict intact. And so here we are. UConn might be going down on October 16th. I'm not going to watch that game whatsoever. But when I see the headlines the day after and I see on October 17th that my bet cashed that Yale beat UConn, I don't want anybody out here surprised. I don't need it.
I don't want that energy. Listen, I like that pick. UConn has been terrible. Like this team, okay, for people who didn't follow a lot of our Power 5 stuff this year, that team was so bad that they got kicked out of their conference, and their biggest rival said, "No, bro, we ain't rivals. You suck." That's how bad.
They left the trophy on the field, Zach. UConn made the trophy. UCF won, and then UCF just walked off without the trophy.
Bro, do you know how bad you got to be for the team to beat you and say, bro, I don't want that nasty, crusty trophy that you got there?
Yeah, that's the loser's trophy. I'll keep it.
UConn, you were the joke of the Power 5. Okay, Kansas, you were the joke of the Power 5. UConn, you're the joke of everything else. But man, I have one here. This I told you all 3 of my main ones are in the SWAC. And Brandon, this is funny. All 3 of mine are on the same weekend too. So it could just be like if mine hit, it's just going to be the biggest weekend of SWAC history. They're all September 18th.
Zach's going to catch a parlay on September 16th. This is going to be the greatest week of his life.
Listen, Florida A&M, FAMU at South Florida.
FAMU
is 9-2, 7-1 in the MEAC last time they played. USF was 1-8 last year, Brandon, and they are preseason ranked 114th in the country.
I'm trying to figure out if I agree with you, Zach, because I want to agree with you so bad. And South Florida is awful. And Zach, I feel like this is like you're feeling a few shockwaves from back in 2019 when USF embarrassed themselves against Wisconsin. And
bro, that was our first ever episode, and I picked them, and they got beat 63-0.
Zach started out pick 6 real strong that year. Nah, man, that's tough. I want to agree with you really bad. I just don't know. I can't. If I had to give this one a rating, I give this one like a neutral. Like I'm not sure yet.
Listen, I'll break it down for you, man. South Florida, Brandon, they had the worst offensive and defensive production combined since 2015 last year in school history. They're projected 3.3 wins this year. And this game is coming after they have to play Florida and NC State to open the season.
So they're going to be real beat up. Okay.
And then after that, they have BYU, SMU, and Tulsa coming up on the slate.
I mean, it's like where you can't let off the gas. This is probably, and you know what? I'll be completely honest with you, Zach. This is probably a game for USF where they're like, okay, this is the game where things turn around. This is the game that we win. And it's just like, and because of that, it's a trap game. And so, you know what? I do agree with you now. I do think they're going to win. I do think FAMU wins.
Listen, it's all relies on Kansas State transfer quarterback Holcomb, who's the new quarterback for FAMU. If he can live up to the hype that FAMU fans have been screaming in our comments, screaming in the live streams from our guy Scotty, listen, they will win this game. They have one of the worst secondaries in the AAC. They don't have a good run defense. They're only positive. So FAMU's going to have to step it up here. They have a really, really good running back. Their running game should be very much improved with Brian Battle stepping in at running back. But outside of that, Brandon, so you're looking at the schedule. NC State, Florida. Then you got FAMU. Then BYU, SMU, Tulsa. And then you probably got to win at Temple or East Carolina. But then you got Houston, Tulane, Cincinnati, and UCF to end the season.
That's incredibly tough.
That's brutal. I mean, Brandon, their EPA per play was in the negative.
Their EPA?
Last year in both passing and rushing.
Yeah. That's
terrible. Crazy. Garbage. So what's your next pick, man? We'll kind of throw this back and forth. So that's my number 3 pick right there. South Florida, FAMU. I think if we're ranking these on most likely upsets, FAMU over South Florida, I'll give it like a 6 right now, Brandon.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, Zach. This is so tough because I have like a list of games that I think might happen, and I'm struggling. Okay, I'll go with this one. I'll go with on September 18th, and this one might have been one of yours, Zach. I want to take Alcorn State over South Alabama.
That was my next one. Let's get into it. That was my next one.
I think that might be the easiest dub on my list, to be completely honest with you, just because Alcorn State is so good, and South Alabama might not win a game. You know, and I know a lot of our listeners might not know very much about South Alabama, but how the tides have turned for South Alabama. They were an FCS team for like what? For like 3 or 4 seasons?
I think it's like 2 or 3 years.
Well, in their first 2 seasons, like that they ever had a football team, they were undefeated. They didn't lose a game. They never lost a game over 2. I think they went like 21-0 or something like that. They ended up losing a game in their 3rd year, but now South Alabama's lucky to pull away like 3 wins in a season. It's been real tough times for South Alabama. Alcorn State's coming back this season. They didn't play this spring, but they're coming back this fall. And I think they're going to come back really, really strong. And I feel like they're going to come back with a chip on their shoulder, to be completely honest with you, Zach. And I think
they were running stuff that like they were the champs until they didn't play. Like they won the SWAC in 2019.
And here's the thing, Zach. It's not even that I think they're going to beat South Alabama. I think that they're going to beat. I mean, they're going to beat down on South Alabama. Like, I can't wait because I am going to bet on this game because I knock on some wood. Sports gambling is going to be legal in Louisiana. It's already passed legislation. I think this fall they were actually going to have sports books, but I will be dropping a bag on this game when it comes up because South Alabama, they don't stand a chance. This feels like this should be the other way around. Like South Alabama should be the FCS team, and Alcorn State probably deserves to be in the Sun Belt.
Well, I mean, so guys, like this is our hometown team. Like me and Brandon are from Mobile. Like, I mean, South Alabama is where we graduated high school. Like we graduated in the gym at South Carolina, like their basketball arena. So like we know this program. They're breaking in a new head coach in Kane Womack, who I'm very excited for, coming from Indiana. I think he just needs some time. Brandon, Jalen Tolbert, that's a bad man at wide receiver at South Alabama. But Brandon, the quarterback they're breaking in, I'm blanking on his name right now, but literally like the one critique, like I was reading on like Pro Football Focus on them today. It was not a downfield passer. Well, what's the point of having Jalen Tolbert if you can't throw it downfield to him?
Right.
And I think right now, if you look at this game, Alcorn wins the quarterback battle with Felix Harper. I really, really like Felix Harper. I have him as my number 2 quarterback in the SWAC, right behind Akil Glass. I think they have the best quarterback on the field. He's experienced. They're not going to be intimidated because there ain't going to be a damn person in the stands down there in South Alabama. So I won't be surprised if Alcorn has more fans travel to that game than South Alabama has show up. And then on top of that, I feel like if you look at the roster, really and truly, I honestly feel like Alcorn State has more talent on the roster.
They do. That's the thing, Zach. I'm telling you, like I've never been so confident in the game, and I know the line's gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be like South Alabama's a 21.5-point favorite.
I don't think it will. I really don't. I think this might be a 7-point spread.
I mean, but South's gonna be the favorite. That's
yeah, it'll be a favorite because they should be. They should be 0-2, maybe 1-1. Their first 2 games are Southern Miss, which I think they lose, and then Bowling Green, which is always a toss-up. Which Bowling Green's garbage too, but it just are they as garbage as South Alabama? So they're either 0-2 or 1-1 coming in. But then Brandon, the other on the flip side is their next game is Louisiana Lafayette. What a game to have! Like, so you don't think they might be looking through Alcorn?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I feel like both of your picks to this point have been like trap games. This isn't really a trap game because I legitimately think Alcorn State's the better team. But
you said they might just get smacked.
It's not even a might. Like, they're going to get smacked. But nah, honestly, South Alabama probably thinks that there's levels ahead of this FCS team, levels ahead of this SWAC team because they're an FBS program. They're in the Sun Belt. Cool. Nah, they are going to overlook them, and they're about to get – I mean, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be brutal. I mean, Brandon, South Alabama is the 122nd ranked team coming into the season right now.
Well, there's like 129, right? Like is that it?
No, I think it's like 130 now, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so there's 8 worst teams in the country, and one of them is probably Kansas.
Well, one of them's Kansas. The other one's like UMass.
UConn.
Zach, I'm conflicted here because I got one more, and I've got one that I think is who you're going to go with just based off of scheduling and based off of the conference, and I agree with you there. But I want to give the listeners something different. And here's
what do it. And we'll break down the big one because I feel like the one that you're thinking of is probably the most sure. You were sure about South Alabama. I'm sure about my last pick, and I will bet my salary on that game.
Dude, so I'll go ahead and give y'all something. And I'm stuck between 2, so I'll go ahead and throw them both up because they're both kind of like this is like a halfway effort. The one I truly believe is what Zach's about to unfold, but I think Delaware legitimately has a chance to beat Butgers because Butgers sucks. And I also think I would not be surprised if Richmond came out and beat Virginia Tech. Just something wild like that happening. And they're both – come on, Zach. They're both – it's in-state. It's not really a rivalry.
Virginia Tech is going to be pretty good this year, Brandon.
Richmond's always pretty good, Zach. They're
not beating Virginia Tech.
They pretty much win the CAA every single
Which
year.
one to bet? We can make a bet on the podcast. I promise you Richmond isn't beating Virginia Tech this year.
I'm telling you, it's a toss-up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Like, this wouldn't knock me over like Appalachian State beating Michigan in 2007.
It would me. If Richmond beats Virginia Tech, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Zach, Richmond's come on.
I don't care.
It's like FCS teams need more respect. We need to put more respect.
No, they do. But Virginia Tech is going to be pretty good this year.
Richmond's always pretty good, Zach. That's my point. Like, you're not listening.
Okay, go ahead.
The Spiders going to do their thing. No, Zach, we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to go move on to the last one because this is the one that we both truly believe, and we probably got a lot to talk about here.
Oh, man, guys, listen. This is the one that I almost got into with the dude on the live stream about because this, listen, okay. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to set some boundaries as listeners. Either we're so confident in these transfers that this team got that they're going to win the national championship, or two, you're lying to yourself and you don't think they're good enough. Because Jackson State and Louisiana Monroe should be a blowout for Jackson State on September 18th. Listen, and I get it. This dude said teams like Jackson State don't go and win games like that, even against people like Louisiana Monroe. Louisiana Monroe is like the house of the poor. It is horrible. They are garbage. Listen, I think you could take a random fraternity rush group and they could beat Louisiana Monroe.
Oh, not even that, Zach. Like, okay, so for those of you who don't understand, Zach had football practice as a pledge in college, which is just like a way that you aren't technically hazed. But let's do this, Zach. I legitimately think that like my intramural squad at Southern Miss could have beat ULM last season and probably this upcoming season because they're terrible.
I mean, okay, so Brandon, right now, out of 130 teams, Louisiana Monroe ranks 127.
Yeah.
They went 0-10 last year. And what conference are they in? The Sun Belt? How do you go 0-10 in the Sun Belt?
The Sun Belt was one of the conferences that like played outside of itself, though.
Yeah, it did. It did. But listen, I'm looking right now. I wanted to pull it up because I want to make sure I say this right. This is the positives for this team, Brandon, okay? The biggest strength for Louisiana Monroe next year, according to Pro Football Focus, is not too shabby at linebacker.
That's pretty. Hey, Zach, linebacker's an important position. You're sleeping on the linebackers.
And this is the weakness. Off-ball linebacker is the only position they qualify as average at. That's not a very valuable position.
Oh, no. So we're not even talking about the playmaker linebacker here. We're talking about off-the-ball linebacker. Huh. That's tough.
So their strength is the weak side linebacker.
That's what I'm hearing is that they got like one good player, one starter that's pretty okay.
Now listen. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. It's still an FCS-FBS upset. Jackson State should be a 10-point favorite in this game.
And you know what? I know South Alabama is going to be the favorite in that game, in the Alcorn State game. Jackson State might actually be the favorite in this game because ULM's that bad.
Dude, I don't know who ULM pissed off. Brand, listen to their first 6 games. Kentucky.
L.
Jackson State.
Double L.
Troy. That's an L for Louisiana Monroe.
It's an L, but it's not like that. Like I almost chose Southern over Troy for one of my FCS over FBS teams. So
Coastal Carolina. Liberty.
L for Liberty, yeah.
L for Liberty, okay. Appalachian State.
That's like 3 L's.
Listen, and that doesn't even include LSU and Louisiana Lafayette as their final 2 games.
That's bad, man.
Like, dude, how their conference title odds. Everyone is like, yeah, you get like a 0.1%, 0%. They don't have a single shot, according to the odds makers, to even make the conference championship.
Zach, do you remember in like between 2011 it might have been 2012 and 2013 when Southern Miss lost 23 games in a row?
Yeah,
that ULM is the new Southern Miss. That's as simple as that.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If Shadur is who y'all say he is, Jackson State should win this game. Yeah, I mean, if he's not, then yeah, you probably still win. But if that running back from Liberty is what y'all think he is, y'all should win this game. If Shane Hooks, Josh Lanier, if Corbin, all them boys are what you say they are, you should win this game. If that offensive line is retooled like y'all tell me it is, y'all should win this game. If that defensive line, the USC pass rusher is going to eat everyone alive, y'all should win this game. Listen, I believe in Nugget at corner. I believe at Shiloh at safety. Y'all are loaded in the secondary. Y'all should win this game. I don't want to hear a single comment. I don't want to see a single comment tomorrow that says, man, that's just not like HBCUs or FCS teams to win these type of games. That's the whole mindset Dion came to change. We got to get out of that thinking. You should have a chance to win this game. On paper, you should be the favorite. And Brandon, listen, if Jackson State goes out and loses their first game to FAMU, yeah, that's not a great look. But FAMU's a really good team. I would be more upset with Jackson State if they lost this game than if they did the FAMU game week 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to be honest with you because at least week 1 you have the chemistry issue and that you're on the road and it's Shadur's first start and FAMU's got a really good team and they were 9-2 and like they're returning a lot of people. If you lose to this team, what? And yes, but also FAMU would smack ULM. It's just ULM's bad. They're bad. I don't understand how anybody has the mindset that Jackson State could not even potentially beat ULM. Like, maybe you don't watch ULM football, and that's fine because neither does anybody else. But they're bad, dude. They're so bad. You remember those old pay-per-view games when we were little where, like, you had to pay to, like, watch your team? Like, before there was any SEC network, any, like, ESPN Pluses. Yeah, like you had to pay to watch, like, Auburn, Louisiana Monroe. Listen, and yes, it's been a long time since 2007. Louisiana Monroe's not that same team.
Zach's talking about the kind of games that it costs more to pay for it on TV than it did to actually go to the game.
Facts. Bro, you had to pay like $55. I remember as a kid, like being pissed at my parents because like I wanted to watch Auburn play some like the Citadel, and like they wouldn't pay like $60 for it. And I was like, I want to watch it. And my dad was like, bro, they're gonna beat them by 100. Like, because this was like 2004. Like, this is when they had like Cadillac. Like they were like, he's like, they're gonna kill them. Like, it'll be okay, my dude.
I remember. I think the first LSU game that I actually remember going to was against North Texas. I think it was in like 2006. But and now that I think back on it, it was probably just because it was cheaper to buy a ticket to that game than to get it on TV. So yeah, I get that.
Listen, but that is our upsets for FCS versus FBS. Those are the most likely upsets for this 2021 season. Listen, I want y'all to comment below. Give us your takes on these upsets, man. Give us your takes on the teams that we picked to pull off these upsets. Just give us your thoughts on everything we've covered this episode. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for our interview, man. Listen, I'm so like happy that we're given the opportunity to do stuff like this. Please make sure to go follow him on Twitter. It is at Black_Jesus1K. Spencer Perry, new Alabama A&M safety transfer, man. That's his Twitter. Go follow him, man. We'll be posting materials all day tomorrow to make sure y'all remember to go check it out. Guys, if you're an athlete watching this, man, hit us up with this new NIL coming, man. We want to give y'all a platform. Y'all can talk about whatever y'all want, whenever y'all want. We ain't tied down by nobody.
And listen, dude, like it's not like you're in bad company. We had to kill Glass on the show. I mean, we got some real names on here. It's not like we're just getting anybody. Like, and we will take anybody. Don't get us wrong. But like we got the tip of the top, dog. Like we got good players coming on here.
Facts. And hey, we're in some talks with some more recruits coming up. So make sure to tune in for that. Subscribe right here, man. So, we appreciate all y'all's support, man. We can't thank y'all enough. Hey, live stream not this upcoming weekend, the next weekend. Y'all can come up here and we could chop it up about whatever y'all want to talk about, man. It's our live streams are called the Audibles because literally it's off the dome. Y'all tell me what y'all want to talk about. We chop it up and discuss it, man. So make sure to subscribe. Remind yourself about that. But for B-Dub, myself, the 2-Minute Drill, and the Bluebloods guys, we out.